Jobs, they're real jobs, man. It means we created more jobs in 2 years than any presidential term in American history. Not just created, but you created it. You did it. The unemployment rate of 3.4%, as I said, is a 50-year low. 800,000 manufacturing jobs.
Now there are 6 days, everybody, until recipients receive the first 2 SSI payments, which will arrive in March. And according to the Social Security Administration, the first round of payments will be sent out March 1st. It will be worth around $914. And they will also have a second payment of the same amount on March 31st. That's equaling a total of $1,800 for the month of March. So the Social Security Administration normally gives out checks once time. And now, when the first of the month occurs on each of the holidays, while recipients receive 2 checks the month prior. Giving people 2 checks in a month, that means the administration will not send a check the following month. But it ensures the recipients receive 12 paychecks a year. And now, eligible couples will receive a March 1st and March 31st payment. And those who live with and provide necessary care to those on Social Security will also receive 2 payments of $500 each in March. And now President Biden has said that some Republicans are threatening Social Security's future, a claim that Republicans have denied, though. The argument ignored key facts about Social Security. This includes that the Social Security trust funds could be depleted as early as 2032, unless Congress acts to prevent that. And without action, starting in 2035, Social Security beneficiaries will get smaller monthly checks, about a 23% cut from what they receive now. And almost 67 million Americans will receive a Social Security payment, totaling $1 trillion. Many older Americans rely on the benefits to pay their basic living expenses. People can start receiving Social Security retirement benefits at age 62, but the full retirements kick in when they turn 67. And Social Security is funded through the payroll tax, and that revenue is put into a trust fund to pay for current beneficiaries. The program, which was started in 1935 by FDR, has become increasingly unaffordable, as life expectancy and the number of eligible recipients has risen, and the number of workers who pay into the program has declined. But a 2022 Social Security's report said that the trust fund used to pay retirees would be depleted in 2034. And the Congressional Budget Office director has told reporters that the depletion would come even earlier, in 2032. So this report is not an outlier. Since 2012, the Social Security's Program Trustees Board has projected that the fund will be depleted in 2022 and 2035. The main ways to cut Social Security's solvent are by increasing revenue or decreasing benefits. Folks, that's a solution that will likely require a mix of both. More revenue could come in by increasing the payroll tax, the amount of payroll taxes collected, or just the ratio of people paying payroll taxes on people drawing benefits. For instance, if more working-age people migrate to the U.S., that could increase the number of people paying taxes. But the federal government can also spend less in benefit payments by raising retirement age. It would effectively cut the number of beneficiaries on Social Security. That would mean less stimulus. Because first of all, the government can actually spend less in benefit payments by raising retirement age. It would cut the number of beneficiaries. Some have even suggested that another way to decrease benefits is by decreasing the income replacement rates. So yes, the options to increase revenue or cut benefits have been on the table since the solvency problem first was created in 1980. Republican lawmakers don't even have a unified plan to shore up Social Security in 2022. The House Republican Study Committee produced a plan that largely made no changes for the current or near retirees. And although the plan proposed increasing the minimum benefit, it also called for reducing benefits for people who retire after 2030.
Well, you know what, guys? If your coffee isn't doing the trick this morning, perhaps the sound of stimulus will. We have your attention at home, especially if you live in Maryland, where a recent article on a well-known finance site claims you can expect a 4th stimulus check soon. Well, we'll tell you right away, that's probably not the case. We talked to the Maryland Comptroller's Office and looked into the Maryland Relief Act of 2021, which the article itself cites.
Folks, if you receive monthly benefits, then there are some very important news you have to know. Monthly benefit checks may be announced, dramatically decreasing your monthly stimulus. So as the economy has suffered from the crisis, supply chain problems, and skyrocketing inflation, while the federal government has stepped in multiple times to help Americans through a variety of relief initiatives, including stimulus checks, tax rebates, debt relief, and other programs. According to a recent Go Banking Rate survey, 60% of Americans would still like to see more stimulus money in 2023, and so would so many other people across the nation. Because when the crisis that led to this hardship may be over, financial woes for the people that suffered this will definitely not be over. Because the good news is that there are some programs that provide approved payments of 2022 that will continue to roll into this year. It's also possible that the American economy is going to go into recession. Not really possible, but it definitely will head into recession, and we're already in one. Because on the East Coast, several states have some kind of stimulus that will extend this year. Now, not all of this stimulus comes from bills passed by the Fed. Some are rebates or surplus tax refunds that states are passing along to the residents. Because in the state of Delaware, for instance, resident adults 18 and older who filed their income taxes may have been eligible for a Delaware one-time tax rebate. A one-time tax rebate, folks. And what I mean by this is that in the state of Massachusetts, $3 billion surplus was sent out. It decided to divide that money to its residents in the form of tax rebate and refund. Anybody who filed in 2022 should have received their refund already, but residents who filed their taxes on or before September 15th will begin that money too. And now, no later than September of this year, New Jersey residents can still take advantage of property tax refunds through the Affordable New Jersey Communities for Homeowner and Resistance Program. Pennsylvania has also given $1,500 while renters can receive $450 if you're a homeowner, and the deadline for 2023 filing is January 31st. Applications for this anchor program need to be filed with the state's Division of Taxation. Pennsylvania has an ongoing program since 1971 that benefits seniors, which is still in effect. They send out a refund of property taxes or paid rent monthly for seniors. The maximum standard rebate is $650, but those eligible for supplemental rebates can receive up to $975. That income limit is $35,000 a year for homeowners and $15,000 a year for renters, though half of Social Security income is excluded. To get the funds, an application is required. It must be filed with the state's Department of Revenue by December 31st, and the state of Virginia already sent eligible taxpayers checks worth up to $500 in the form of one-time bonus tax refunds. But while most checks were mailed out in September, for those who filed at the later end of the application window, it's possible that some checks may still be on the way to check out their monthly benefit checks in some way or form. It has already been almost 3 years since the crisis began. It was a long time ago, but many states have already been making adjustments to the monthly benefits. It has been announced that extra crisis SNAP benefits are coming to an end in 2 months for residents who use the program in Massachusetts. About 630,000 homes in the state have been relying on SNAP since March, and has allowed them to receive the maximum benefits, and that means good stimulus money.
I was able to get not all I needed, but $369 billion put in that bill. And we had, I think the guys were with me, the Congress were with me when I invited the CEOs of the auto companies to the White House lawn in the back, behind the White House. And I talked about automobiles, and they talked about electric vehicles. At the time, Amy Barr Chairman Barr of General Motors, was suing the state of California because you had a higher standard for emissions than the rest of the country, and they said they couldn't do that. Well, she left that meeting and she dropped the suit. Called me up and said they're going to go all electric by 2035.